The gift box of Amaryllis will contain a dormant bulb, a small bag of growing medium, flower pot, and some may include a decorative pot plant holder or a container of some description. Everything, in fact, that you will need to successfully grow your bulb and to produce the large, colourful, trumpet-shaped flowers. The one thing that catches the attention is the rapid speed of the leaf growth, and this combined with the eventual height of the flower stalk, which can be anywhere from 60 to 80 centimetres. The bulbs in the gift boxes usually have been especially prepared to guarantee flowering in their first season, but with some tender loving aftercare it's possible to keep the large bulbs from year to year and to get it to flower again, sometimes producing multiple flowering spikes. Once your confidence has been boosted by your first-time success, you may want to grow more bulbs. There are many available for sale from autumn to just after the turn of the year. Always buy the largest, plumpest bulbs that your budget can afford, and the smaller sized flower pot that can be practically used to squeeze the bulb into. The general rule is to be able to fit your fingers between the outside of the bulb and the inside of the pot, which is round about 15 millimeters all round. The reason for this tight potting is to prevent the fleshy white roots from rotting off if they are left sitting around in a cold lump of wet compost. It also makes the roots fight for the nutrients in the compost and to trick the bulb into producing the flower spike first before the green leaf buds break. I prefer to use a terracotta pot because I believe that they allow the roots to breathe and they also absorb moisture out of the compost, which overcomes part of the rotting problem. The ideal potting compost to use is Joiner's number 2 because it contains just enough plant nutrients to grow the bulb successfully up to the flowering stage, but also, very importantly, it gives the tall Amaryllis plant stability because of the extra weight that the soil-based compost gives over the lighter and looser based peat or non-peat types of compost. The roots from the dormant bulbs will be completely shriveled, so it helps to soak the base of the bulb for a couple of hours before planting to rehydrate the buds of the fleshy white roots and to encourage them to break into growth. All you need to do is to stand the bulb over a jar or a container of tepid water, but it must have water with the chill taken off, so the base of the bulb is just sitting in the water. Even though the large bulb is going to be grown in a small pot, it's crucial to the health of the bulb that it isn't planted too deeply. This is important to reduce the risk of water collecting and setting off a rot around the area where the neck of the bulb narrows. I like to plant the bulb so at least half of it is exposed above the finished surface layer of the compost, which should be around about 18 millimeters from the rim of the pot. It can be a third of the bulb, but I don't like to take the risk. I never be tempted to overwater the plants, and I don't allow them to stand in saucers or containers of water for too long. Make sure that the compost has been well firmed around the bulb and gently water the compost, allowing the excess water to drain away before placing the newly potted bulb near a constant heat source, such as a radiator or a boiler. I used to use the airing cupboard, but it can be a strain on domestic relationships. The bulb needs a temperature around 20 degrees to flush out the dormant flower shoot, to make it grow before the leaves start to appear. This way it guarantees you flowering. As soon as you see the first signs of new growth appearing from the neck of the bulb, remove it from the heat and grow it on around about 13 to 16 degrees Celsius. Water the pot as required and feed weekly as the plant grows. The leaves will continue to grow after the flowering is over, so continue to water and feed to rebuild the bulb, but begin to withhold watering once the leaves start to turn yellow and shrivel. Cut down the spent flower spike when the flower shrivels, and when all of the top growth has died down, it can be pulled away, and this is the time to stop watering. The bulb needs to be stored somewhere cool and shady for at least 2 months to recover, really up until you want to restart the bulb into growth in the autumn, which could be as early as September or October. The bulbs take about 2 months from planting to flowering time, so give yourself 8 weeks start. There's no need to repot the bulb each year. At the start of each new growing season, just scrape away about 25 millimeter depths from the top of the tiled compost and replace it with fresh Joiner's number 2. Amaryllis resent disturbance. They prefer to be pot bound, so only repot them when they're literally cracking the pot. It's not unusual for them to remain in the same pot for up to 5 years. The bulb will increase in size with each passing season, so you may have to use a slightly larger pot second time round. And the repotting is best carried out in the late summer, early autumn, when the bulb is just dormant or beginning to break dormancy. And always take care when repotting the bulbs if any of the fleshy root shoots have started to grow. Well, I hope this helps you.